Welcome to Reset Vegas After Dark. I'm Danielle, your host, founder of the Reset Method. What high-achieving women don't say out loud, the real conversations behind success. Today, we're filming episode 2. We're calling it the Triple P. Today, we have our guest, Kristy. Kristy works for Bourgeois Champagne. She also works as a bartender at Circa at 80 East, correct? 8 East.
Yes.
Okay. Welcome, Kristy.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you.
Thanks. I feel like I've been preparing for this my whole life with all the voice memos I send my friends every single day. So,
right. And really, that's what this is about, right? This is about like the real conversations that people don't really say out loud. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm so
and
excited.
Being vulnerable. I know it's not easy to get in front of the camera, right? Even for me. Basically, today we're going to talk about the patterns that show up when we're like the yes girl, right? Mm-hmm. With boundaries, the challenges with saying no or just being that yes girl, and then how it can lead to burnout. So
yeah. What are boundaries?
Here we are. So let's start with that. Tell me, what is this? You told me that you've been called Triple P. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. They call me the PPP, the president of the People Pleasing Club. I think it's something that I kind of started at a young age and honestly just kind of got swept into it and didn't know how to stop. And now that I'm in my mid-30s, I'm so appreciative of having so many relationships and so many friendships, but it has become kind of a stagnant time where I'm kind of confusing of what I want and what other people want. And I think the last few years, I've just really put a lot of people first. And it almost just makes me uncomfortable of the thought of even thinking about what I want or what I deserve. And so it's been a journey. I still do not have it figured out, but hopefully we can crack some codes today and get there.
Yeah. And listen, you're not alone in this. This is why we're having this conversation. Boundaries are not easy.
Yeah.
It can be very confusing, and knowing like when you're supposed to show up for someone, when it's okay to say no. And so those are real pressures. And, we get trained at a very young age that we have to be like this person, this helpful girl, right? And then this helpful girl, like sometimes it's a coping skill just to like be nice and to show up for everyone, to make like everybody happy.
Yeah.
And that's something that doesn't really it's a coping skill that as we get older, it doesn't really serve us anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? It can actually end up doing the opposite, like lead to anxiety and pain and stress and burnout, right?
And I think it's not talked about enough. I think I felt really lonely in this, even though I was doing so much, I still really felt lonely. I think because boundaries sometimes aren't black and white. I think people want to be like, just say no, but they don't really give you any sort of guidance of how to get out of that pattern of saying yes. So I think that's where I've kind of been confused, and I can't compartmentalize certain boundaries, and I don't want it to just be like a blanket statement. I think sometimes it is situational for sure, but I think sometimes, it's just confusing. Like there's no other better way. Like I can't sit here and just give you a blank statement on boundaries or what you should and shouldn't do, right? And I think sometimes people do try to do that to me. And I can't even accept that, or I'm not even understanding it. Because for me, like saying sometimes no to people is so hard, or not giving everyone 100% is so hard. And some people, that comes kind of naturally. They may maybe raised a different way. That was so natural to them to have those boundaries in place. Where for me, I was never like that. I always kind of gave a lot to everyone.
Yeah.
Even sometimes if they weren't asking. Sometimes.
Oh, wow.
It's no one to blame.
Okay.
And I don't even put a lot of blame on myself. I don't blame anyone for it. I think just naturally, I kind of always saw people and was like, oh, well, I can do this. I can help.
Yeah.
I want to. And then sometimes there wasn't even pressure on me, on their end. It was me giving it.
Let's talk about that a minute. And also, right, so you've got a really crazy schedule right now. You've literally bartend, like, what'd you say, like 4 or 5 days a week?
Only about 3.
Okay. Oh, and then you do the bourgeois champagne during the week for like 4 days. Okay. So, and I actually didn't mention it. You are engaged to be married.
I am.
Okay. So that alone, like I can't imagine the pressures and demands there.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you are being pulled in a lot of different directions.
I am.
And
sure.
Okay, so you recently told me that you have been a bridesmaid and it was like a crazy number of weddings. So let's talk about that. What is the number if you average it out?
I think I've been a bridesmaid probably about 20 times.
20 times.
Yeah, I think
wow.
In the last 6 years, we've been to about 60 weddings alone. I've also been just heavily involved.
60 weddings.
Yeah.
60 weddings.
Yeah.
So you could be
it's like
you could be a wedding planner.
Yeah.
But at this point.
You know what's funny is I wanted to be a wedding planner when I was younger.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, no, you're never going to get a weekend off. And ironically enough, I have never had a weekend off because I've bartended my whole life.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, maybe I should have been a wedding planner because at least I could have monetized a little bit after all these weddings.
Well, you still have an opportunity there.
I know, maybe it's not too late. Maybe for everyone's second wedding.
Yeah. So you've been in a lot of weddings and now you've also got more weddings that you're still going to be a bridesmaid in. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Still a few more. Yeah. Still a few more that I have to be bridesmaid.
Have you been able to, what is it like for you? Where are you at in the process with just saying no? What is your relationship with that right now?
I'm not going to lie, it's definitely been a challenge.
Okay.
I think being someone my whole life that has always shown up for people, always cared a lot about people, always was willing and able to do a lot more. I think naturally, I always was good at hosting. I was always good at planning. I was always good at cooking. I was always good at a lot of things. And I think for a while, I kind of confused with, even though I can, should I? Like, even though I'm able to do it, should I? And I think some of it, was just empathy of maybe someone didn't have anyone else to do that. And I, kind of looked and was immediately like, yes, I'll do this for you.
Okay.
Where I definitely should have taken a couple steps back because like you were saying, like I am very busy. I've always had 2 jobs. I've always been managing a lot of relationships. I never really took a second to pause and think like, do I actually have time for this? Do I have space for this? Sometimes I was overly reactive of like, oh, I'll do it for you. Sit back and relax. Like I got it.
Okay.
And then sometimes it would build a little resentment. And again, sometimes it was my fault. They weren't even asking to do as much as I did or could. But that was something that I definitely had to take a pause. And now I'm a little bit more cautious of because when you give so much to yourself to a lot of people, you take away from yourself. So.
I love that you literally just walked us through the entire process. Like, I love this because I'm sure like so many women can relate to this, right? Like what it actually leads, like the cost of being that yes girl. And you had mentioned that like, tell me about the triple P. You said that you've been called the triple P. Can you explain that to us?
It was probably after I have actually... I've done about 3 baby showers for people that I don't really know.
Wow.
And,
Kristy,
I know.
Is this more recent or like, is this over the course of?
Probably the last 3 years. Actually, one was pretty recent, about 4 months ago.
Okay.
So again, I don't know. Sometimes I haven't really been able to pinpoint like what exactly makes this like urgency in me to help people. I think sometimes when something like a big monumental moment, like a baby shower or a bridal shower or a wedding, and then you kind of hear someone doesn't have anyone in their corner or is not celebrating them. I just want that person to feel loved and celebrated. And even if I'm not super close with them, I am like, whatever I can do. Like I have the tools. Like I've thrown the parties. I've done all these things. I've been to so many weddings. I've been to so many celebrations. Like I know how to do this, so I'll do it for them.
Okay.
But
Okay, let me stop you right there.
no, please.
Kristy, this totally makes sense, right? Because you're like, you basically nominate yourself
Yes,
because
I do.
you have, well, I can tell you have a tremendous amount of empathy for people.
Mhm.
You really care, you really love. And so it kind of sounds like, okay, let's just go through the process for a second,
Yeah,
right?
please help me because
Tell me, what are you feeling when you hear this story? Like the first person that you volunteered to do their baby shower, they were telling you about this, right? And then what was happening in your body when they told you? I want to know what was happening inside of you so we can kind of like get an idea and grasp like what it's like to be in it in the moment.
I think immediately it's almost like a sunken feeling. And maybe it is because I have been so lucky and fortunate to witness so many amazing and beautiful celebrations. And the thought of someone going through something very similar and not being able to have those celebrations. So I think it's just like an immediate, what can I do to help? And I think immediately my wheels start spinning like, well, I can do this, like just immediately trying to offer everything. And again, I don't take a second sometimes to think, am I actually able to do this right now?
I love that. I love that you are actually like, you're saying it out loud. Like, you know, like, okay, pausing could look different.
Yeah.
Right. And there could be another solution, right? For this person, like as far as supporting them in other ways.
Yeah.
Right. As far as getting resources or finding other people that they may be challenged to find out like, hey, this person could actually help me and Kristy helped me out, but you didn't actually have to physically run the event.
Doing everything.
So it's, it's a learning curve. And I love that you're being so vulnerable right now. So thank you for that.
Of course.
Okay. So what about after? So you volunteer for the event. How is that once you're like actually running the shower?
I mean, so I've done everything from showers. I've actually catered a few of my friends' weddings. I have done a bunch of bridal showers. I've done everything, but speaking specifically of like the baby shower of someone I didn't really know or wasn't super close to. I mean, you immediately feel just so excited for them and so happy and that so proud that you were able to do this. But then sometimes it does end with a little like guilt of, hey, maybe, I wasn't able to show up for myself the last 2 weeks because I was so concentrated on this, or maybe I slacked at work because I was so concentrated. Like, so, I was trying to do all these things. And sometimes I don't know, I'm biting off way more than I can chew. Sometimes I think I've always thrived in chaos. I've always been someone that can handle a lot and do a lot. I always constantly have people being like, I don't know how you do it all. And I'm proud of that because I like it. And I think that's also where it's hard is because I genuinely really, really love doing these things. I've naturally always loved it. So sometimes I think I confuse just a natural like love and ambition for these things as should I do them? Like I think it's this constant, like only just because I can, should I? Like that's where I get confused sometimes.
Yeah, that in between is very confusing. And now you have, so you've been doing all of that. You're kind of like the yes girl, triple P. Did you say what the triple P?
Oh, it's a president of the people pleasing.
President of the people pleasing.
Don't forget it.
That's kind of funny, but it's also kind of sad.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because of the underlying reason of just being, being in charge and being that people pleaser is a lot of pressure. That puts on you. And I heard you say that like there's things that you need to do for yourself that just aren't getting done. What is that like? How does that transition into like you preparing for your wedding and now being engaged?
I think it holds a little bit of pressure. I think I have always been a people pleaser, and it is something I have thought about and trying to work through. I actually grew up with a twin sister, and we are so opposite.
Wow,
so
two
opposite.
Kristys.
I know. Can you imagine? That's what I tell people.
It makes sense. You're opposite.
Can you believe there's two of me?
Okay. Yeah.
But she was a little bit more, actually her name is Danyel.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Maybe you told me.
But I think it started really young where she was just very stubborn. She liked what she liked. And it was easier for them to have to ask for forgiveness from me.
Okay.
And just please her rather than trying, to work between us or get any solution. It was just way easier for them to just come to me and be like, can we just do this?
Kristy.
So I think that's where now, because it does, like sometimes like being such a people pleaser, like it's not that I'm like ashamed of it, but some people will kind of, call you out on it. And it's not always necessarily a positive trait. So obviously once I kind of realized that, I did, I have been in therapy for years, and that is something I brought up of, where does this stem from? And I think a lot of it does kind of stem from that of just always kind of having to be that person that was go with the flow or doing what everyone else wanted, or kind of just having to show up and
absolutely. Here, let me give you a second here, because you don't have to have the solution.
Yeah, because I don't.
Okay. Just tell me your story. Okay. But it is interesting how, the pattern usually shows up when we're a kid. And so you were really positively reinforced that it was just better with the family dynamic for your needs to come second.
Yes, absolutely.
And so that resonates with you?
Yes, 100%. And that's what I'm comfortable with, because that's what I've always done. So it kind of makes me uncomfortable sometimes. I remember for years, I was always kind of scared to state my opinion or.
So uncomfortable to put your needs first.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. It always, even now, if I do it sometimes, whether if it's with my fiance or friends, and it could be something so simple as like picking a restaurant. It's like, wow. If I say it, I'm like, oh no, we can do something else. It's always like kind of this hesitant, I'm like, take it back a little bit. I'm like, no, we don't actually have to do that.
You're like, never mind.
Yeah. I'm like, no, actually,
Wow.
Yeah.
Kristy, this is I love hearing this. Thank you for being so vulnerable, because seriously, this is a pattern, right? That served you. It was really a coping skill when you were younger. Like, hey, you know what? It's just easier if I let my sister go first. And so your nervous system literally is conditioned to just wait.
Yeah.
And to take care of somebody else.
Yes.
But now, right? You got real personal with me, and you told me sometimes you can get really anxious. Anxiety comes from this, right?
Yes, 100%.
So what is that like with all of the pressures and demands with being the yes girl? Having that sort of pattern growing up. And now we're here.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I think sometimes some of the anxiety that I have, I don't even think people can relate to. And I have been really, really trying hard to have a better relationship with anxiety, because I know anxiety a lot of the times is things that haven't even happened yet. And it takes up so much of my time.
The other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So can you maybe give me an example of does that show up in your work or with your friends, or when you're really feeling the extra pressure, the demands with your schedule?
Honestly, it shows up too much.
Is it a fear? Is it more fear-based? Hey, something bad can happen if I don't do this? Or is there a certain pattern that you can name?
Yeah, I think it is a pattern of I think, like I said, I really do thrive during chaos. And I am really good at doing a lot. And then I just don't know when to cut it off sometimes. So then there are times where I have so much on my plate and I'm sitting here I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. Or I'm going to have to disappoint someone in order to prioritize something else. And that's something I've had to learn the hard way. I've lost friendships because I haven't prioritized really close friendships by prioritizing someone else that maybe didn't even deserve that, but or work. I have two pretty demanding jobs, two jobs that are very customer facing, relationship based,
Yeah.
stuff that I have to really pour myself into, my personality into.
Yeah.
And I shut down sometimes where I know I need to put more effort. I know I need to put more effort into my fiance or my friends or even my family. Like there's days I'm so tired. I'm like, I don't even want to pick up the phone right now because I'm so tired. But I'm like, that's not fair that I'm pouring so much energy into work where my relationships are lacking. So finding that balance has been really hard. And honestly, I've been working really hard at it. I haven't perfected it by any means. I think sometimes it does have to ebb and flow, but I just want to make sure I do have a better understanding of those relationships.
Okay. Let me ask you something real quick.
Yeah.
Because I've heard you say a couple different times, like, I'm trying really hard. And it sounds a little bit like you're putting the pressure on yourself to also, like, something's wrong, like you're trying to fix something.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you're feeling right now? Like, just with the pattern that's going on, that something's broken or damaged or that something's going wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I actually haven't thought about it in that way, but that's probably what it is. Like,
Okay.
I kind of feel like and maybe it's not broken, but I don't feel like I'm able to attend to what I want to or need to. And yeah, so maybe that's where a lot of that anxiety, and maybe if it's not even communicated to me, I'm kind of putting that pressure on myself.
Yeah, and you seriously, like, this happens to everybody, okay? I hear this all the time in my sessions, like, really, like, when it comes to being a performance-based type person, right?
Yeah.
And we've gotten external validation for things, we inadvertently, like, will
Mm-hmm.
put the pressure on ourselves. Like, you can put the pressure on yourself because it feels like you need to fix something, when really there's nothing that needs to be fixed. It's just a coping skill that the nervous system was trained, right? Your nervous system, literally your body, was conditioned to be in survival mode.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we can overcomplicate the process, and really just being able to, the steps that I really work through with clients is just being able to do the basics of being able to, like, ground yourself, which I know that you love. I learned what the Cadillac machine was through you. So how are you doing with that? How are you, like, are you taking time to work out for yourself? Like, how is time for Kristy look like in your schedule?
I definitely do. I think I do love Pilates. I love the Cadillac Pilates. I love working out. I love just calm mornings. I think to just, like, regulate myself a little bit. I think a lot of my, crazy night times and crazy schedule. I think with my bourgeois sales job, the time frame is always so different. And I think
that's late nights, right?
It's early mornings, sometimes late nights, evening. It's kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it's tough to have a routine like with that.
Yes. So I was always a very, like, routine person. And then until I got this job, I definitely had to kind of figure out how I start implementing, hey, if you have an hour in the middle of the day, like, what's going to just make you feel better? What's going to make you stay, on task, but also just do something for you? So I've just kind of learned to find a lot of small little.
I love that. You're finding windows of opportunity.
Yeah.
I know that it can be really helpful. It's funny how I was just having this conversation the other day. Like, it's so interesting how high achieving women, like, we're, like, struggling to find the room on the calendar. And then a lot of times we don't get that room, when actually the best way to ground is to, like, put yourself on the calendar first.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that something that you're open to? And have you tried that before?
I have. I think I came to the realization probably a year or so ago where you really do have to prioritize yourself, because if you're not prioritizing yourself, even, like, those people that mean the most to you, if you're not prioritizing yourself, you're technically not really able to show up for them in the way that you need. So, if you skimp out on yourself, you're technically still kind of skimping out on everyone else. So it has been it has been hard or there is like a lot of pressure. You mentioned me getting married and it is hard. I've been engaged for 2.5 years.
Oh my gosh, it's been that long?
I know, it's
That's insane. Okay, so let's talk about that.
But, and I tie this in because, you know, I do have a little bit of time. And sometimes though, I'm like, I just want that like alone time or free time. I don't want like any pressure or I don't want any sort of timeline or I don't want to call it an inconvenience because obviously planning a wedding is not inconvenient. Well, it is a little inconvenient, honestly, but.
So you're taking the pressure off yourself with the schedule for your wedding. Yeah.
Well, I am, but everyone else around me is not. I think that's what's really hard about wedding planning is you can give yourself, you know, a timeline in your head of what, you know, you and your partner wants, but it's so hard to tune out the noise of everyone else around you. And it's really, quite honestly, frustrating because, I mean, the second we got engaged, oh, do you have a plan? Do you have this? And it's like, no. And then for me, I'm kind of combating all these other relationships or events I have going on. Again, we've been to so many weddings and everything the last few years. And I've kind of just put so much time and energy into everyone else or then work. Or if I finally get a few moments to myself, like I truly just want to rot. Like, I just need a minute. I'm like, I don't want to think. I don't want to do anything.
Well, and there's listen, like, I know sometimes girls are like, oh, I have to isolate or whatever, but it really is like you have to have an opportunity to ground, right? And remove yourself from all the demands. And you literally are that girl where you told me the other day, you said something about like being, that you say yes before you even get a chance to really like stop and pause because it's just that's just like your thing.
Yeah. It's like so natural for me to just say yes. And I think maybe now because I have tried to work so hard at being a little bit more, I've been definitely taking a couple steps back, but now oddly enough, there's this kind of pressure of because I've done so much for other people that other people have seen that.
People are expecting that.
It.
Yeah, they're expecting that from you.
Yeah.
And that leads to more pressures and demands, right? Because they're like, oh, Kristy will do it.
So I kind of created this spider web for myself of how do I get out of this? And I don't want to let anyone down because obviously if you're a really close friend and you've seen all this I've done for other people, some strangers, and I don't think there's like an expectation, but I think I would let them down a little bit.
Let's talk about that for a second because I just had this conversation recently with a colleague, and I'm hearing it a lot in the office too. Like, listen, no matter what we do, like, and even I personally have dealt with it, you know, where it's like, okay, this is not something that fits in my schedule anymore. And I'm spending time like thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to hurt somebody's feelings? And then that takes energy, right? And so it really just takes, in my professional experience and just working with people, it really just takes practice. And even for people that are more experienced, it's still difficult. It's more just you can kind of like identify it a little bit quicker. Like, okay, this isn't something that's good for me. I have reservations about it. And so it's a conversation that I need to have. And also like, no matter what, we're going to disappoint people.
Yeah.
Right. But it's really difficult when we're used to like being validated. We're getting rewarded for the same thing that's not healthy for us. And so what is it that you really want? Right. Like this wedding is really good experience for you. Right. Because this is your wedding. This is not all of your friends, right? I would imagine there might be a line out the door for your bridesmaids. I
don't even think I can have them. I don't know what venue can fit them all.
So this is going to be really good practice for you. Like even just having your wedding, like how are you feeling already with just preparing your wedding? Are you able to practice boundaries at your wedding? Like how are you showing up for yourself with just planning this engagement and this wedding coming up?
I think it has been It has been a little hard. Just being someone that was always showing up for people, even more than just a guest, kind of, running the show, helping more than anyone else, being there to such an extent. There is a little bit of me that is a little nervous that people won't show up for me the way I've shown up for them.
Yeah.
And it's not an expectation because, again, a lot of the stuff I have done in the past, it's truly out of like love, and I don't regret anything I've ever done for anyone. But I don't know, I'm so used to just showing up for people that I can't even imagine just being the one that receives the love and sits back and just takes it. It almost makes you uncomfortable, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like
I would imagine like it's not, you're used to showing up for other people. And so what would that be like for you? Like, let's just talk about the worst case scenario for a second. Can we do that? Let's say worst case scenario, you have a friend and they do not show up for you the way that you've shown up for them. What do you think that's going to say about your friendship?
Again, I proceed with caution a little bit because I know, again, a lot of the things I've done, I did because I wanted to and because I could. It wasn't because a lot of people had asked. Yeah. So I am aware of that. And I am not taking notes. I'm not taking tabs. I'm not keeping too many receipts. It's not that at all.
Of course you're not.
It's just being able to just, feel the love and feel the appreciation and feel celebrated. I don't know. I can't honestly even tell you a time that I've really felt that. So it feels very like foreign to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't have too much of an expectation about it, but I don't know why it makes me feel like uncomfortable. It really does.
Okay.
It makes me feel very uncomfortable.
So your nervous system is used to chaos, right? And so it's going to feel uncomfortable when it's something that's healthy. And so it's interesting how like anxiety sometimes can show up, and anxiety can feel like, oh my gosh, I'm anxious, so I must be doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Or like for your nervous system, that's almost like you're getting the validation, you're getting the thing. So even though you're overworking, you're just used to that. And so being in the light and being the person that's like the star of the show, it's that sort of like uncomfortable feeling can make you feel like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Almost. Yeah.
Right?
Like I'm like, wait, I don't belong here.
And so that is going to be where it's going to be really helpful to stop and pause and remind yourself like, hey, I deserve this. This is my wedding, right? You kind of got to check yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because imagine I love the thought, like, I'm always like to really put a picture on it. Like, what would you do for somebody else? Like, that's how you have to show up for yourself, right? So what do you think, like your highest self, like Kristy in the most refined way, who's just like worked through it, what do you think she would tell you? Like if she was like your older sister, best friend, what would she say on how you should show up at your wedding? Like,
I think she would say that I should be really proud, or that she would be really proud. And, even though you truly did all of this stuff out of the kindness of your heart and just what you wanted to do, but all of that was for this moment to be able to look at everyone and be so grateful and to just celebrate, and just really take in that time of everyone, being there for you. They're not here because you forced them to be here. They're truly there to celebrate you and they love you. I get like so frustrated with myself that sometimes it's like so hard to think about just like people showing up for me.
That's like okay. It's out of your comfort zone, but what is it that you want? Okay. So what is it that I want to ask you about your wedding for a second. What does Kristy want for her wedding? What are the things that are most important to you?
Well, it's so funny because earlier this week, my friends had a little intervention. They're like, we got to get planning because I'm just always been an overthinker.
Mm-hmm.
I am just kind of all over the place. I've always liked, it's really hard for me to compartmentalize exactly what I want.
That's okay. It sounds like you're taking on a lot of information from a lot of different people, and that's really tough to process.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think
you're not alone, Kristy.
Yeah.
That is that's pretty normal
I know
these days.
You're right. I need to give myself more grace.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
But I think the fact that we have been so lucky to been to so many weddings, I obviously always kind of take a couple pieces of what I really, really loved and what I think I would enjoy.
Yeah.
So for me, because I am originally from Buffalo, New York, I moved here 12 years ago. I went to college in Pittsburgh, but I have a lot of friends from all over. I've traveled a lot. I just have a lot of friends that I just don't get to see a lot, unfortunately. So I think something with a wedding that's so beautiful is, you really just get to bring everyone that you love and care about into a space. But a lot of the time, unfortunately, it's a 4 to 6 hour party that you kind of have. So for
unfortunately,
it's just kind of quick.
It's fast.
It's fast.
Right. And you got a lot of people that you want to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
So, but these are your people.
Yeah.
So have you really have you looked at, I know that you had told me recently that there's a pretty big wedding list.
Oh yeah.
There.
It's
Are we trying to cut that a little bit?
a little.
A little.
It's definitely hard to cut, but I think something that I'm looking to do possibly something more overseas or a destination wedding because personally the destination weddings that we have been to, and I know you guys just went to one, but you get so much time with people and I'm such quality time is definitely my love language across the board. Yeah. I love quality time. We have that
in common.
Yeah. I love it. Even if I am going through it in the thick of it and I'm so busy, but I get to spend time with someone I love and care about, that will, almost energize me and rejuvenate me. So I think for a wedding, it is overwhelming. We do have a huge guest list. I think the best possible answer to that is to do something where it is a 2 or 3 day event. I know it's a lot to ask out of people, but for me personally, those are the best wedding experiences I ever had where it's kind of a multi-day. You get to meet so many people. I've honestly met great friends at other people's weddings because you just have a lot of time with them.
I love that too, because probably, in my experience, when you go have a destination wedding, the people that I know from the one that I just went to, she said that she was nervous about who was actually going to show up or be able to come.
Yeah.
And then that can also put you in another weird paradigm, right?
For sure.
You could feel bad or whatever, but at the same time, it's for you, and the people that are really there for you are going to do what it takes to show up for you.
Yeah.
So then it's going to show you who's going to show up for you, right? And then you can keep that circle with the people that are very important to you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I know it's a lot to ask out of people. And I feel
is it though?
If you're asking them maybe to.
But this is what you want, right?
Yeah.
You want a destination wedding. This is your dream wedding.
Yeah.
Is it theirs?
No.
Okay. So can we go into this wedding unapologetically?
Yeah, that's true. I honestly am because when people, they have had some comments of, well, I'm not going to make it. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm sorry, but this is what I want. And this is what I envision. Is it easy to get married down the street and have 300 people be there because it's down the street? Yeah, but I'm going to feel overwhelmed. I'm not going to feel fulfilled. I'm going to spend way more money. And that would be people pleasing. I could easily do that, but I know that that's not what I want. I want something that is more true to me, true to my fiance, true to what we have built and what I want out of this experience. So I feel that was one of the first times where I was I don't care.
I'm so proud of you.
I get it.
I'm so proud of you. That's not easy to get there. And you're so right. If it's a really big wedding, right, then you could be there. People, and a lot of people could be showing up that are taking your time who you're not close to either. And you only have, like you said, 4 to 6 hours. And so I just think it's really great that you're taking the time to think about what is it that Kristy really wants.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that can be really tough with all of the pressures and demands of having a wedding. But now you've been to so many too, right? So there's opportunity to really figure out, okay, sitting down and being like, what is it that I really want?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Which I've always kind of done. Like I've always taken little bits and pieces of everyone's wedding. Like, oh, I loved that. That was so memorable. So it is kind of fun, a little overwhelming to start trying to curate.
Are you making a book? Like, are you getting it down on paper or what's that look like?
We do. We have like a book and we have a few things. Some of the things were not going to work out as what we thought, but it's just trying to keep, a positive mindset of everything and just be excited. And I went to a wedding last fall, one of my college roommates, and I loved her wedding so much because when I walked in, I could immediately feel her presence, like their relationship, like it emulated them so perfectly. And I loved that. I loved where they didn't let any social media or any outside noise kind of write that day. They just truly let their love story just be beautifully articulated through their day. And I think that's so important because I think it is really, it's stressful. You get online and people are criticizing people's weddings, saying stuff where you feel like, you need to spend $50,000 in Florida to make it beautiful, or you need this, you need that. And it's just like, we're losing the plot a little bit here. Like we're losing
it sounds
why.
like you get to have it intimate. And I've been to weddings. I'm sure you have before too, where you talk to the bride afterwards and she's like, that was really for everybody else. It wasn't really what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, and she like literally leaves the day and then all of a sudden it's like that. So you're really taking the time and space to think about what it is that you really need, despite like all the noise around you. And I also love how you brought up the part about just being like not caring what other people think, because sometimes that can be confusing too, right? It can be confusing, like, not that I don't care about you, but when you level up or you're doing something for yourself, there's a lot of people that have an opinion about that. And sometimes it can be negative. And a lot of times it also could be because they're used to you doing something for them.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, if it's not about them, then they have a problem with it.
Yeah.
And so it can take really practice with just getting comfortable with people not liking your choices.
Yes.
And in my experience, people that have like really leveled up and done something for themselves, you actually can lose a lot of friends along the way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It happens.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of, and people have to choose. Some people grow apart, right? They have like different paths that they're going on, or a lot of times people aren't ready to work on themselves and be like the highest version of themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
They're less self-aware, right? And it's a difficult conversation to have, but it's the reality of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so it when you are truly like working on yourself and being your own best friend and validating yourself, the not caring what other people think conversation is controversial, but it's really about connecting with what it is that you really want and living your life for you, not about what anybody else wants or thinks, because then it's taking time and energy from you. And when you have I can't imagine the pressures of juggling that with your history and with the amount of friends that you are such a likable person. Like every time I hang out with you, I'm literally like, and either like friends of mine too that have hung out with you, like, oh, how's Kristy doing? What's she doing? And that's a lot. That's a high standard. So it's so cool that you're sort of like, it sounds like this wedding is giving you a lot of really good experience with like just showing up for yourself and figuring out what it is that you really want.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I do think it is important. I think it is important to, really surround yourself with people that you admire and that support you, but also that have so much ambition. It's because you really are the people that you surround yourself with. And like you said, sometimes friendships fall out. Sometimes I think it's so important to grow. I think a lot of my friendships that I've had for years, we've grown together and we've been able to have conversations and communicate and, grow with each other, where some friendships, you unfortunately have to say goodbye to because, you might be on completely different paths. And I think for a while I was really uncomfortable with that. I hated the thought of someone like not liking me.
Yeah.
It was always kind of someone that, I kind of, I don't know. I just felt so uncomfortable with the thought of someone not liking me. And then I finally realized like, I don't want everyone to like me. Like, why would I want someone to like, or why do I care about someone that I don't align with or I don't agree with at all? Any values, any morals, like nothing. Like, why would I care if they like me? So I think it's constantly just, learning and growing and really surrounding yourself with people that support you and just love you. And I never take friendship for granted. I think it's such a beautiful thing. So.
Oh, you are such a beautiful person. And
Thanks.
this is a struggle that everybody deals with. I have these conversations all the time. Like I literally have a friend, I have a girlfriend, she just got fired, right? And it was hurtful, but it wasn't the right room. Like her boss was just had narcissistic tendencies and didn't respect her and bossed her around, and she didn't feel appreciated. And it really wasn't like, and she's a very talented professional person. And so, just years of history, like just thinking about all the people that I've met where I feel like all of us have our own story, right? Where we're not like really appreciated, but it's really about like getting in the right room with the right people who really like
listen.
They listen and they respect you. And then it's like so much easier, even in professional situations. Like even, I know like I'm affiliated with a school, and our school is like, it's so much easier with the families who are valuing their kids' education and really want to put time and energy and respect what the teachers are doing and what the director of operations is doing. Like it's not an easy situation to be in, but you've got to have your standards. You've got to have your standards of what you believe in and what your value systems are. Yeah. And if people don't have the same value system, then they're not going to align with you, and it's going to be difficult, and you're going to wonder, and sometimes it can make you feel like you're doing something wrong. But if you can really and so that's why I always encourage like the reset method, especially like that I created it is really there for a person to connect with who they are and really pay attention to like just taking the time to asking yourself, what is it that I really want? What makes me feel connected to me and my value system? And then being able to like go out there and have these difficult conversations. And then you get a little bit more comfortable with like, oh my goodness, like this is me. You have like these little different, you can basically like little different challenges of, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and set that boundary with that person. It's not easy, but I know it's good for me. And then you do it and you're like, oh my goodness, I feel so much better.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
It just takes practice. It's literally like working out your body. You have to work out your mind the same way. It's the neuroplasticity in your brain. I love neuroscience because it just takes practice to go a different direction. We have a psychiatrist that I used to work with, and he gave this example about like when you go skiing. Have you been skiing before? Like snowboarding or skiing?
The last time I went snowboarding, I was probably 20.
Okay, it's been a while since I've gone.
And I had an 8-year-old sitting there.
Oh wow,
telling me how terrible I was.
I've been in that situation before too, where you have like kids teaching you.
They're bullying me, and I fail. I was like, you're right. I'm not good at this. I'm gonna stop.
Kids are so honest. It's so much fun.
Too honest. He's like, you're not very good. I'm learning.
Well, I was just thinking about like, I ran this group, right? And one of the psychiatrists that I work at, he gave this example of how like when you go boarding or when you go skiing and you go a certain direction that everybody's going, it's really easy to go that route, right? But then all of a sudden when you go down a direction that nobody's gone in a while and the snow's sort of like packed, can you see the path? Can you see the direction that you're going? I'm guessing it would be difficult. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's not like a path that anybody knows, even like a hiking trail, right? Like if you haven't gone, that you can kind of see the direction, but not really. So it's really the same as the neuroplasticity in our mind. Yeah. Like you have to train it. You have to show it like it's going to want to go. Like it's going to want to go the negative. That's just the way our brains work. It's going to want to go like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? The what ifs, the black and white thinking, all these thought distortions that come up. It's just us being humans.
Yeah.
It's natural for us to go that direction. So we really have to exercise, just like we take the time to exercise our muscles, we have to exercise our brain.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's not so difficult. It literally is like riding a bike.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when you first started riding a bike?
I think I still have scars, honestly.
It wasn't easy.
It wasn't
right?
easy.
It wasn't easy.
I was a little
and
clumsy.
then after a while, like what do you think? How long did it take? You know how to ride a bike, right? No, sure.
I'm like, no idea.
I should ask you this before the interview. We didn't really prep on the questions, but
yes, I do know how to ride a bike.
Yeah. And so it's just, I had a client not that long ago. He's been like, oh my goodness, do I have to like think about all these things every time? And I'm just like, no, I promise. Like once you practice for a while, it's going to get easier. That's not going to be so much demands and so much pressure to show up for yourself. So your nervous system just takes a while to get comfortable with something that it's been trained for years to show up differently.
Yeah.
Right? Literally years.
Yeah. That was one thing I remember in therapy because I was really struggling of like, how do I break this pattern? Like I'm so used to this. This is like so normal to me. And I remember having friends, like kind of confiding in them and asking their opinion. And they were just like, say no. And I'm like, that feels like I am walking to a pit of fire. Like I cannot explain. Like that feels, it just feels like I like tense up. I get uncomfortable. Like I need, practices and ways of being able to fix that. And I remember my therapist being like, it's okay. You need to give yourself grace because it's like relearning the alphabet. It's like, this is something that you learned when you were so young. You know it. Obviously, everyone knows it. And then imagine someone tells you a complete different alphabet one time and then expects you to do that perfectly again. Like your brain naturally is going to go back to the way you were taught.
It's like speaking a different language.
Yeah, it really is.
You
It's
literally
foreign.
have to like learn it. It's not something that comes natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I love that. Like, and she's so right. Just giving yourself grace, showing love. That's a part of the challenge, right? Just being kind to yourself.
Yeah.
And realizing also that you don't have to have all the answers.
Yes.
And it sounds to me like you've got practice now where you just, okay, so when I have a question. So now when the yes, what is that like for you to say no? Have you gotten some practice with that, even just preparing for your wedding?
I have. I think it was probably a year or so ago where I really was just so in over my head doing things every other weekend, managing jobs, trying to plan a wedding, managing, it was when I felt like I was going insane a little bit.
Yeah.
And what I noticed is people were okay if I said no. It was,
it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was more of the fear of like letting people down. And I think, a lot of the times, again, I don't think it was ever people like using me in a sense. I think they just knew I was good at it. And again, I was so appreciative of people even trusting me with their big days and doing all this stuff. But I think, that was a kind of a boundary that I had set where, hey, if I can't do this and that affects them in a negative way and they're upset with me, then maybe I need to reevaluate this relationship completely because I don't think they should be getting mad at me.
You're going inward.
Yeah, like it, but it took me, a long time because to be honest, it helped where friends were like, I'm not going to ask you to do that. I want you to just relax and have fun, or like, I wouldn't expect that from you.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, you're right. If you really love and care about me, like, yeah, if I can do it or could do it, sure. But there was no expectation. So that kind of helped me reset my mind a little bit of like, they don't love me just because of this. They love me for all these other reasons. They don't love me because I can make a fucking charcuterie board. They love me for all these other reasons.
It's so amazing because basically you were like finding evidence to back up that, okay. And that's really how you can positively reinforce something that's new too, is just be like, okay, this is proof. The proof is in the pudding, right? They actually do care. And so my worst fears weren't right.
Yeah.
So you
absolutely.
get to test that and reinforce the good. So I think that's so cool that you're there. And oh my goodness, like I can't imagine the pressures. Like I just think that it's so cool that you are just here. Like, you are such a perfect representation about like, and we haven't even gotten to like the age of just like, not just planning a wedding, but like having children, like just disappointing people is a real thing. And it just, and sometimes you have to go through those feelings too. Like sometimes it can be really, really difficult and it can still hurt. And there's not really always an easy fix to that. And sometimes it's just, you have to ride the wave and know that it's going to pass. We call that advanced mindfulness.
What's like, that? I need to write that down.
This will pass.
I need to write that down.
I'll text it to you. But it's a journey, right? And it doesn't have to look perfect. And it's so cool that you're here. Like, I think that, you know, with everything that you've learned from this experience, is there like something that you could say to like the woman listening to this that maybe is having a challenging time with that? Like, whether it be like with family or friends or whatever life experience they have, what would you say to that girl watching right now that may be having a difficult time saying no or people pleasing?
Yeah.
What would you say with your experience? What would you want to tell her?
I think women in general have such an immense amount of pressure on them. And I think a lot of women, it is really hard for them because a lot of that expectation is unrealistic a lot of the times. And I think just being able to sit there and put yourself first and really ask yourself the questions and really ask, you know, what makes me feel good? Like, how am I going to show up actually for better people? Like, I need to fix myself internally before I can do anything for anyone else. I think it's so important to have a group around you that really lifts you up and supports you.
Yeah, being in the right rooms.
Yeah, being in the right rooms, being, you know, uplifted by the right people, like, is so powerful and it's so beautiful. And I think...
Yeah, no, I mean, you're being real and authentic and there's a lot to absorb, but even just you being here raw in this room, talking about the real challenges, I think it can really help women feel seen and know that they're not alone. And it's a process. It takes a lot of practice and it's not easy, especially with family, right? Because family a lot of times can hold us to whatever we were years ago, like, and label us. And that can be extremely demanding and difficult to create a boundary there.
For sure.
External boundaries are difficult, but I personally believe in my professional experience that boundaries with your own mind is so, so difficult. You know, we have something, I love Tony Robbins because Tony Robbins talks about like the number one wealthy thing that we have is our mind, like, and how we choose to show up in our mind. And so what we choose to think about is our choice. And yes, we all have our stories and being able to like honor those stories and see where it's gotten us where we are today, right? And so being able to see like, okay, this actually made me, I'll give an example. Like I homeschooled for many years. And for many years, I was very resentful that I didn't get to be with my friends for homeschooling. Like I was actually pretty angry. And I held that with me for a long, long time in my life. And, you know, it's probably taken until, it's probably been 10 years where I really started to see like, wow, like homeschooling actually taught me how to be an entrepreneur, how to not like, be like everybody else.
Yeah, be independent.
How to try things on my own. And so I was able to take that energy and think about just like choose to think about like what were the benefits from it, even though there were things that I didn't get. There were things that I also got from it, things that I learned that helped me become me, right? And sometimes that can be very difficult to do when you're just like, have that honest conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's so important, especially to younger women, to really let them know, like sometimes when you're in the thick of something and it just feels terrible and you feel like you can't get out of it, that I agree. I can think of so many situations where I was so down, I was so disappointed, or I was angry, and some of those moments like have created the best versions of myself. And even though nothing makes sense at that time, I'm sure that down the line, something will align and something will make sense. And that's where, like we were saying, I think it's just so important to give yourself so much grace and to figure it out and to, support on the right people and to always be a great listener and always be a great friend. But yeah, I think that's such an important message of, some of the toughest times can honestly, or maybe, you think it's the worst time, like you're saying homeschooling, where you're just like, I don't like this, I don't appreciate it. But now you can look back and reflect and think, wow, like so much of this made the woman that you are today, which obviously you should be so proud of. So sometimes even though something doesn't feel super, super aligned, like you might not, it may align. It may also start
you
making
may
sense.
Figure it out later, right? You may not make sense now. And that's part of the journey. Sometimes it can be confusing and we have a tendency as people, right, to like have it all figured out. And so sometimes it's just submitting to the process and trusting the process, which isn't easy. If it's like especially foreign for us. But these are like, I think seeing it as an opportunity to learn and grow and be humble and take it in. And I guess it sounds like, not even I guess, I know I'm also being more mindful in just how I say things, because how we say things really have a lot to do with like how we show up for ourselves, right? And so when you are putting yourself first, which your close family and friends will respect, what is it that what will your relationship be like for yourself and your confidence?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it'll just embrace me more and just make me even better. I think it'll just allow me to kind of let go of the things that were even maybe holding me back or giving me anxiety. I think it'll let me just show up as the true version of myself. And maybe, in the past, I've been a little resentful or I've been a little timid or I haven't been as confident, but kind of letting all of that go, I think I'll just be able to show up as like a better partner, a better daughter, a better friend, like so many of the things that, I really prioritize. But sometimes, again, I can't prioritize because I'm holding on to so much. So I think
it sounds like you already are doing those things. It's just you're sort of like in the process, you're juggling a lot.
Yeah.
And so, it's not something that's learned overnight. It takes so much practice.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
But what I have seen is that when people feel more connected with themselves and they do small acts, basically like these small little tasks that you do, like almost like little experiments, basically, if you could look at them that way, like, okay, I'm going to practice today a boundary, like with my wedding, for example, like with how I'm going to show up and what I really want, like, what do I really want from this? And then you see, you follow through with that, right? And the more you follow through, then it strengthens your relationship with yourself and you learn to trust yourself. And the more you trust yourself, then this is like where when you go out and express yourself, you become more aligned with, okay, my head is now connected to my heart. Like I trust in my body and in myself the choices that I'm making. And then guess what that brings?
Limitless.
Well, clarity is what we all want, right? And so that's what gets me so excited and that's what I embrace with the reset method is once people worked with like some of this trauma-based stuff and they learn how to regulate, like you do the Cadillac machine, you regulate, right? When you start there, then, and you learn to have that connection with yourself, then you know what especially works for you when you go out and you express yourself with the people that you love about. And when you're able to do that from a place that's from authentically you and what makes you feel good about yourself, then you can literally thrive and live your best life.
Yeah.
Because it's for you. It's you're not being selfish. You're living your life for yourself. So when you like have your life and you look back on it, we've got one life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And of course, when you're grandma, you want to have good stories, right?
Those kids better buckle in.
Yeah. And you want to, I know you mentioned you want to have a family.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
hopefully soon. I think it is, it's just a scientific pressure at this point because I'm 35. So I definitely, I just want a wedding before kids, only truly just for selfish reasons of the fact of just doing everything and getting it all done before kids.
Well, I don't think that's selfish. I think that's just like, it's important to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's important to you, and that's okay. That's important for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know,
and maybe that was
the wedding before. Yeah.
It's just more like honestly realistic and logical at this point because it has been a little bit since I've been engaged. So I would just like to kind of do the wedding.
Yeah.
And then eventually start a family. I'm not against obviously having kids before getting married. I just was, at this point, I'm like, all right, let's do the wedding and have kids. But
you do not have to explain yourself.
I know.
Something which can be difficult to do for, like nobody's judging you.
Yeah, I know.
You don't have to have an explanation for anything. That's something that's really good to practice actually too.
Yeah. I just didn't want to feel like I was judging because I'm like.
You are not judging.
Yeah.
You have a reason, and you know what? There are people that are going to judge that reason.
Yeah.
And is that going to change the way you feel?
No. Not at all.
There you go, Kristy. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Is there before we conclude this, is there anything else that you would like to say that you just maybe is on your heart or something that you think would be beneficial? Because you got really personal today.
I think this is amazing. And I think I'm an avid podcast listener. I have been for almost 10 years now. I'm kind of a pioneer of podcasts.
Okay. Oh, I had no idea. Thanks for being here.
But they truly, truly helped me through some of the worst times of my life and where I felt like, sometimes with friendships, they can kind of appease you or tell you what they're going to tell you what you think you want to hear, or they don't have the right answers. And I think podcasting has been such a way for me to truly learn so much, to kind of feel like I always had such a different perspective, and it helped me in so many ways. Like I have my podcasts that make me giggle, dating, relationships.
Yeah.
But mental health and being able to sit there and like listen to people that have gone through so many things that I've been through that maybe I wasn't relating to with friends, or that friends couldn't give me advice on. I think it's so important, and I think what you're doing is amazing, and I think it will help so many people. This way of being able to just express yourself is amazing and beautiful. And I just hope, even if people maybe couldn't relate to exactly what I was going through, maybe it can inspire them to maybe step up as a friend or be there more as a friend, or, challenge themselves a little bit. So hopefully people can get a little something out of this.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a real cost behind like saying yes, right? And you've got a lot of experience and you've practiced it and you are continuing to evolve. So I can feel your heart. I can see how loving I know you personally and see you as a very close friend. And there's so much love and connection, and that can be very difficult too for somebody who's like an empath and has so much to give. There's more that can be taken there. And so you have a superpower. And so when you have a superpower, it takes practice learning how to use it. And it can be confusing, but you're figuring it out, and you are there. You have arrived. And so this is what life is all about.
Yeah.
And just thank you for trusting me. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. This is so fun.
Yeah. And I love this opportunity. And yes, we have to like have these conversations for people to know that, they're not alone. We have to get out of the shadows even when it's difficult. And I know both you and I like to kind of be behind the scene, but this is what this podcast is all about.
Yeah.
Is to help people be seen. So
yeah, absolutely.
thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So So that concludes this episode of Reset Vegas After Dark. Thank you, Kristy, for being here.
Thank you, Danyel.
It's been a delight. And, we'll have to have you on again after your wedding.
Please.
Yeah?
I have so much.
Okay.
So many stories.
Was there a pause before that? Yes.
No.
No pressure.
I was trying not to be too eager because I'm like, same time next week.
Well, guess what? You can always change your mind, and that would be okay too.
Okay.
But thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.